Hello, this is Socrates Johnson, MD, here with my friend Rarharg,
Hey, how's it going?
and we're playing a 2v2 here on Company Heroes 2 Cast today versus
TM.Dutchy and Slipknots, I guess.
Sluipkot. Sluipkot
Slipknots.
on regular Samoas.
And
Key.
regular Semosky, and yeah, why don't we get this started because it's a long
That's
match.
right off the bat. Let's go.
Alright, let's do this. So, yeah, I'll just go into explaining what I'm doing. So I start
Well,
as,
first off, we are playing one Soviet and one USF.
yeah,
I'll do Soviet, Rarharg, USF, versus two OKW commanders.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
So what's your initial plan?
this little heart. Alright, so like I was trying to say, went for the, what the hell is that doctrine called? The one that gives you elite riflemen and the easy 8. And basically, that allows me to call in some slightly more expensive riflemen that get default experience, sort of like the elite troops doctrine that the Ver
At the very
players.
We got a rifle squad waiting.
My strategy was basically to push for this point and try to hold it, and then I could assist in the middle or harass their fuel. Standard Samaz pin type strategy. How about you?
Well, I was going to try and actually set up defenses going tier 2 in the middle overlooking the central point, which is kind of the most basic sim loss strategy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there isn't that much more that you can actually do effectively. So you can see the flank far to the top and left side of the map is wide open, but it takes so long to get there, and you can't maintain forces there easily. So as you can see, I'm doing something a little nifty, which is wiring off the entire entrance.
Making
Just
it a little more difficult for them to harass our
exactly.
fuel point.
And a little later, I'll build some mines there. And the reason I'm doing that is you might think, well, that's denying us access to that side of the map. But our chances of holding that, especially versus the OKW, who have a nasty habit of pushing our forces off the field, I was going to do something very conservative.
Yeah. That's an interesting start. I didn't realize you had wired that off this game.
Yeah, it doesn't last forever. I do mine behind it eventually. It was helpful.
We
As
have
we'll see later on.
Initial cutoff taken here by them, but not really cutting us off too much. Meanwhile,
And
my
they-
rifle holding down here.
And they get a Sturm pile squad shoot up doing it. Always glad, because each of those men is what, 80 manpower or something like that? Well, in initial cost. I
Yeah,
don't
they're pretty expensive. I think the squad is like
heavy
340
machine gun
or
team
something like
prepared
that.
for combat.
Fine. So they are expensive troops. And they're expensive to reinforce, so every model loss is useful. Oh, engineers run into some folks up north.
Bastards are killing us!
We have taken the center. We're feeling actually quite good about this. That center is always a difficult thing. Well, I guess with the double OKW, they don't have machine gun emplacements in the same way that a normal Wehrmacht player would. So it's probably easier to take the center than ever versus them.
Yeah, unless they go for Kubel spam, which these guys didn't do. So,
Through their credit.
oh, is that mine that went off there? Looks
Well,
like
Sector is at
Three
risk.
models.
or a grenade. Someone's leg is rolling down the hill. Nice.
It was a mine. I just said mine there.
Anyways, they are pushing through in the north, but it's a long retreat path for them since they can't go through that line. Meanwhile, I'm cutting off their munitions now, basically, with these.
MG squad
Unfortunately, they do
awaiting
roll out
orders.
everything. Otherwise, yeah, I also actually wired off and then set up tank
The enemy
traps
is
on this
taking
point
what we have
to
secured.
prevent them from being able to push up from that route. Unfortunately, it does make it a little more difficult for us to harass their fuel. So it's actually sort of the mirror of your strategy, except it's, yeah, a a little odd.
I mean, I think it's just also for the Soviets versus OKW, it's a little bit more difficult to harass unless you do it in strength.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about Tier 2 against OKW as the Soviets?
I think on a map that is as narrow and confined as this one, it's something that's simply a necessity. Like keeping a sniper active is going to be really difficult. And since the scout car does takes a lot of damage, close range OKW infantry, you kind of have to go Tier 2. Here you can see me using a Maxim to pin on the harassers, but Maxim is okay early game. But anytime they get experience, so say after 20 or 30 minutes into the game, it just doesn't do enough damage, doesn't pin quickly or effectively enough.
Not to mention Obers can just cut down the crew.
Yeah.
While suppressed.
Well, and you also bullets and various other college they have grenades. So Maxims are kind of limited viability over time. But for now, they're and the mortar is an essential part of playing Semosiky. You get two mortars, both a heavy mortar, which I have just unlocked, and a regular mortar.
Nice job giving the string climbers a slip there with your ooh-rah.
Well, you gotta get away from him. I mean, it's very similar to, especially before they debuffed the regular Wehrmacht pioneers. You just gotta get away from them because they can only do damage at close range, and they can really rip up your beginning infantry units.
Yeah. And, so TM.Dutchy has gone for the doctrine with the Jaeger light infantry troops. Pretty nasty, but those guys do get cut down quite brutally. Before they can really do anything.
They don't have that much hit points compared to
no. They're like a more effective anti-infantry partisan type squad. Well, they're not nearly as nasty as Fallschirmjägers, I think.
And as you can see, I put my machine gun, my Maxim, in this particular building in the center, which I've only recently become acclimated to. It's going to, of course, fall apart eventually, but until then, especially since they don't have a mortar of their own.
Yeah. Well, it is basically the equivalent to the church, actually. The church is often also occupied by captains. Retreating. But fortunately, they chose to retreat at the same time. Your heavy mortar is also
blasting away. Although they were very effective versus my mortars this game, as we'll see a little bit later on, because they get, it's not the Rakettenwerfer, but it's
the walking Stuka, I believe, if I remember correctly.
They also had another one as well, kind of a mobile howitzer type.
No, oh yeah, the light infantry gun. Yeah, that thing can be pretty nasty. Anyway, so they're setting up their Schwer Panzer headquarters here.
It's very conservative placement.
Yeah, but it does protect their cutoff, and kind of gives them a soft retreat point back from that northern. So it's actually not a bad placement.
Doing some harassing on the left side here.
Fire from the flak.
Well, you see the flak thing, you see the flak half track going up, and you run over the Schwer headquarters, as it were.
Yeah.
Because if you don't retreat, basically instantly, you have a decent chance of wiping, having your entire squad get wiped.
Yeah. Another slightly larger infantry engagement in the middle. Equipping my riflemen with flamethrower and BAR really give them a extra punch against the OKW that basically the Soviets lack unless they go for shocks and penal troops.
Which I have.
Which you have not gone for because I knew you went tier 2, so. Oh. almost lose this rifle.
Did that one unit throw 4 grenades, or did both units throw 2 grenades?
I'm trying to remember. I think so. That's their doctrinal ability. So if you keep them out of combat for whatever reason, it equips like each model of the squad with a grenade.
Here's a Luke's.
Yep, here's the Luke's. So my rifleman can't do anything. I do get off a rifle grenade here, so that retreat softly.
It actually hurts the Luke's. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Luke's aren't that powerful.
Oh, and the church goes
the
down.
church goes down. What the hell knocked it out? Your heavy mortar or something?
It must have been. It was probably aiming for the Luke's.
Probably. I imagine the heavy mortar might actually do some damage to the Luke's.
I've got an AT gun now at this point, and it is setting up.
Oh, me too. And the Luke's goes down. So that was got a little cocky with this Luke's. He was probably planning on clearing out the machine gun in the building. Didn't expect 2 AT guns there. Check out what's going on elsewhere. So.
Yeah, in general, these guys also were very protective of their armor. So
yeah.
They won't do.
Yeah, that was somewhat uncharacteristic of them to rush their armor up like that, as we'll see later.
They learned their lesson the first time. So.
Riflemen meet up here.
And at this point in the game, we're feeling very good about our circumstances because a lot of times, at least lately, we've been getting pushed out of the middle.
Yeah. I mean, we're generally able to hold this thanks to, well, the barbed wire that was there until they just cut it. But at least they can't roll up with a flat gap track or something like that. So.
Or can a truck go over those tank traps?
Nope.
I don't think.
I think a heavy tank can.
Obviously, we won't see those for a while.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a light infantry gun firing.
What are the abilities that it has?
So it can barrage, and what is it? AT barrage, and it can switch to hollow rounds, which are more effective against fortress. Oh, yeah, I was wondering what the hell was going on over here. I'm destroying the buildings back here, just in case they pop out those Jaegers. So that's one thing that you can do if you don't have, spare munitions for mines or, well, as actually the Americans don't have anti-infantry mines. So,
as you can see, the health of mine is also coming out.
Yeah.
With the machine gun inside, of course.
Cons need it. Oh, no.
Also, machine guns. This is the thing since I play with the Maxim so often, I have this particular squabble, is that since each of the individual crew members has so little health, when you retreat with the Maxim, you go 2 feet, guy dies, you stop for 2 seconds, another guy dies, and so it's very easy to lose the Maxim on retreat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with all machine guns. That's another thing which makes the survivability very low once the game gets into the mid-game and beyond.
Yeah. Then recently, I think they actually released a bug fix for the regular German MG42. So not relevant for this match, but the MG42 now actually sets up faster. Ooh, mine actually went up there. Nice. So the MG42 actually does set up considerably faster than it used to. So it doesn't seem to suffer from the same problems that the Maxim has that you just described, despite having a smaller crew. I wonder if that...
Wards off of
harassment.
Yep. You got your Eastgate out?
No,
right?
that's just a regular Sherman. So
Combat unit ready.
I don't think I had enough.
So you're destroying their cover? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I'm hunting down infantry. So I knew that there was a retreating squad with the Panzer Strike, and I wanted to kill it. Almost succeed, but I decided not to charge too headlong into things. I probably should have actually stayed there and just attacked those guys. Because the HE rounds are actually really good on the Sherman, so it is super effective against infantry. And I prefer it, honestly, to the Easy 8 for an anti-infantry role, or to the what the hell is it? There's another vehicle you can build, the M8A1 howitzer carriage, which, although it acts like an artillery piece, it's extremely squishy. It can get killed in like 2 volleys from a Volk squad. So the blob tactics, like this squad would just murder that howitzer if they caught it. I know, I might have to try to include it more often, especially when the OKW starts to field their own artillery pieces like the walking stupid. Because that basically renders any support weapons useless.
Well, here we also have the blob. And this is like one of the situations where the Maxim would now be useless because it just can't hit them all. They do have such a high damage output. I do...
That's Sherman, ready for action.
I don't think I have enough for a barrage. A regular tank gun. Probably should have done that. Oh.
No, you didn't have nearly enough. Right, your heavy mortar gets out of there. Fortunately, my retreat point is actually right around the corner, so I'm just healing up. And my guys are actually pretty good at anti-infantry. We destroy our fuel cache, but I pop around the corner here, and I focus down the Ogres because I know they're expensive. I know they're the most effective against infantry.
And well, they do cut and run before they lose too much. So.
Yeah.
Didn't lose a squad.
Didn't lose the squad. I killed a couple models. They're harassing down here. Gonna trip on a mine. Ooh, nice. And Hans takes a shell to the face. Oh, and another mine blew up there. Sorry.
Those are really useful things to do. Unfortunately, especially in the late game, mining becomes more difficult because simply keeping engineers alive, because an oversoldat, you can kill an engineer unit in something like 4 seconds.
Yeah. Holy shit! You have 4 pot engineers?
Well done, comrades.
Yes. I don't know why. I think I accidentally made a couple to build.
Well,
you know.
They're okay if you give them a flamer, actually. I mean, flames are one of the few things that are viable against veteran Volks and stuff. Although it does bear the risk of blowing up in your face.
Yeah.
In fact,
I think later on I am forced to use them. I'm reduced to using them in an anti-infantry role. So.
Yeah. In fact, that is actually one of the problems with the rifleman flamethrower. Is that for whatever reason it seems to explode much more often than like Soviet flamethrowers. It's just a feeling I have. Yeah.
And so at this point, like, we're 18 minutes in, and this is an interesting sort of strategic decision. You get anti-tank armor in SU-85, even though you haven't seen any armor, or if you get anti-infantry stuff like the SU-76 or Katyusha, and run the risk of not having anti-tank stuff later.
Yeah, well, our current composition, so you've got 2 AT guns and an SU-76. I've got a Sherman, which can kind of fulfill both roles decently. It's not excellent at either role. Let's see. I've got an Easy 8, which is better than AT role. It's about equivalent with a T-34-85, the AT role. Not as effective in an anti-infantry. So that's what my Sherman is for. So yeah, we are actually a little vulnerable to to armor right now. Although, honestly, the problem isn't so much armor as infantry clouds. And they're slowly vetting up. Here's a vet for Hulk squads. That's dangerous.
Hard to kill.
Pretty damn hard to kill.
Direct hit.
Oh,
There's no defense.
direct hit with the heavy mortar though. That'll. Oh, and we do kill it actually on retreat. So it's not impossible to kill. Heavy mortar helped out.
Yeah. Well, the heavy mortar is not going to last forever, unfortunately. They get artillery of their own.
Which is smart. That's what you should do
Sherman, ready for
dealing
action.
with artillery.
Also, if you just dedicate a lot of resources to support weapons, you're not going to have the counter infantry that you're going to need when you're on.
Is that a barrage from over there? Nice.
Well, I couldn't attack them straight on. I wasn't going to run into Bolt's Shrek cloud.
Allied AT gun has been destroyed.
Trying to make use of the Su-76 even though the barrage has been a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
Late. Where's all the smoke coming from? Is that you?
Yeah, I dropped a phosphorus barrage. Kind of wasted it actually. I should have saved it up. Anyways. It doesn't kill units, but it damaged them severely, so that other units can kill them easier, especially infantry.
Looking back right now, this is probably would have been a great time to attempt to kill their Schwerpanzer headquarters.
Yeah.
Get an Su-85, start plinking away at it, because we have decent anti-infantry stuff hanging around.
Yeah, I think we were too bottled up right here, honestly. And keeping all your support weapons
We can now deploy a smoke screen to blind the enemy.
that close is just asking for it. Especially, well, there's a Panther, so this is kind of the current meta of
Enemy
the
forces now have 300 points
the
remaining.
winning OKW meta, I would say, is to just spam Volks and Ogres until you can call in your Panther. Because, well, Panthers
Really good.
are excellent in AT rolls and okay in anti-infantry rolls, but that's really what the blob is for. And hell, the blob is really more effective than most tanks in an anti-tank roll. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, super effective. If like 4 of those Panzer Streks hit a tank, it's, it has to run. Run real far away. And so Panther runs into our AT, but doesn't stay there, I would
Running one of our
assume.
capture
Nope.
points.
Backs off.
Did build my own artillery gun here. Misses
Losing
repeatedly.
a capture point.
Yep.
Gives me a little bit of indirect fire. Fortunately, all of our support weapons are just there. I think that, looking at this is a problem. We shouldn't do this.
The problem is, okay, so we can say that's a problem. Where should they have been? Machine
Well,
guns-
wait, in that pause that we had there, like you said, we should have pushed up. Because then they wouldn't have been able to just walk all their stuff back in. And actually, I should have been back-checking earlier. I really should have gotten 50 kills to help suppress those mobs.
And it is just like a risky decision to move your stuff into the center.
Welcome to the death factory.
Yeah.
boys.
Especially for the
Stick with me.
20 or 30 seconds in which it's actually setting up. And you have to micro everything to the correct position.
Yeah. Well, we had a fair amount of warning, or would have had a fair amount of warning with those tanks that were up there. But anyways, hindsight, it's 2020. Just wanted to think out loud about what we could have done here.
It's true, like as the allies, you need to be aggressive.
Yeah.
You can be more aggressive than, say, caution would normally dictate. Because you have to be bleeding, especially the OKW, of manpower.
Yeah. And really, if you don't control the majority of the map as the allies in the first 25 minutes, it's
support is
just
here.
gonna get
Sherman ready.
that much more difficult because, I mean, right now these guys are able to trade munitions for fuel, which I'm sure that both these guys are doing.
We're taking lead over
It
here.
doesn't light up unless I look at them. No. What the hell? Okay. This guy's not doing it. Okay, well, neither of these guys are doing it. That's surprising.
They've
Maybe.
had fuel game, so I mean it's not.
Yeah, I guess
shocking.
that's true. In this map, you do have a guaranteed fuel.
This is a long game.
This is a long game. Really.
We both had time to get up both pieces of armor there. They're no different.
Nice strafe.
Not the B-47, the IL-2 strafe.
Yeah. Did a lot of damage to those folks.
Unfortunately, versus the OKW, it doesn't last as long because of all their back capacity.
No. And there it goes.
Like
Crashes.
the kind of indirect fire artillery that I have, that is from a unit. Pop out of the building.
Pop back in. Wow, you got really lucky that you didn't pop in when that grenade went off.
Well, I knew what I was doing. I was marking that just to make them waste the grenade and then just killing someone. See, I'm using my anti-infantry roll, but they do not have much survivability.
No. Drop their flamethrower shit. And those Obers are probably gonna pick it up now.
Actually, it's probably weaker with the flamethrower.
Oh,
See my
shit.
machine gun.
And there's our first brush from that fucker. We got Vet 3 howitzer though.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, it can't do any more than it's currently doing, unfortunately.
Well, it is doing quite a lot though. Unfortunately now we're getting a little bit pushed back.
Grenadier
Yeah.
back to full strength.
I'm planning on making a push in the north if possible. Here I've got my second EC8 out and my more veteran Sherman. These guys haven't actually been able to be on the field that much. Just because the blobs, the brush, trying to catch these guys.
I wish I could have supported you actually at this point. With anything that I had, because I'm not really using my SU-76 very well, if it's still alive at all.
Yeah, it's the one doing the barrages, I think. Those are free. Oh, shit. It's firing. Ah, that's a tricky tactic. I didn't realize he was doing that. He fired through the hedgerow at your SU-76.
Then attack ground there.
Yeah, yeah. That was a pretty clever move. Here, I'm moving up trying to push on this. Get a little too close with my damn rifleman. Sherman misses. And there you see it. That entire barrage brought my Sherman down to less than half health. Fortunately, not all the following shots connect.
But yeah, just
Drop a
this
smoke barrage.
near invincibility of both grenadiers at this point versus a dedicated anti-infantry weapon. It's hard.
Here's the next problematic ability that has no actual counter to the game. So this is just a counter to defensive play that the OKW has, which is this absurd sector artillery, which can demolish everything. And they're hunting down near heavy mortar, I think.
Yep. Yep. I think it actually gets away.
Ooh, lucky bastard.
Well, and it took 2 direct artillery strikes. And it made that alive. Yeah, a miracle. In and of itself. Keeping up the push.
Keeping
I was
up the
hoping-
push.
Hide these shots behind a building and ambush.
Nope, not gonna happen. Not against that.
They get 4 squads. I don't know why the alternatives get so strong at long range at Veteran C4-5, but they do.
That was actually the Ober squad doing most of that damage, I think. I mean, Hulks don't actually become much stronger against infantry as the game progresses, except for the received accuracy bonus. It's just when they get grouped with Obers that they get really dangerous. blob reaches critical mass. Oh, holy shit. Sluipkot has his Jagdtiger.
That's gonna be a problem.
That's a problem. You killed your S-85, I think. Just going to fire at infantry.
Well, it has something else to shoot at right now. And the thing is, it's positioned in such a place where I can't poke my my armor out from around that hedge.
Oh shit.
Like I'm doing right now.
That's interesting. Barrage him.
Well,
Oh, you're trying to catch that guy?
But the Su-76 is not particularly intense. So. Tiger turns, and I get out. I don't know. Maybe I had a sixth sense for something like that.
Now the Jagdtiger was firing at your units. So.
Well, there's also like an OKW kind of advantage at this stage that their reinforcement point is so close to the point of combat that it's really hard to really make a sustained offensive unless you wipe their squads, which they are not allowing us to do.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a pretty good job of retreating their infantry this game. Which, yeah. I'm not using my forward retreat point as effectively. Although, actually, these guys didn't have their forward retreat point, so that, I mean, that's not really that relevant for this match, honestly. So they were actually being forced to retreat. But yeah, in general. Oh, they're actually trying to come in.
The Jagdtiger.
The Jagdtiger drops some smoke in front of him. Saves that one. Unfortunately, I run into the Panther. That was.
Yeah. And I really didn't have much armor to help him. Trying with my SU.
So I smoke the Jagdtiger again. And I pop out my guys there and repair the critical. That's probably the best ability. Oh my god, I got super lucky that that missed. Firstly, I was microing that guy and lost my other ECA.
It must have been an attack round from the Jagdtiger too. Didn't do much damage to it.
No, that was a failed push.
Didn't do any damage.
Didn't do any damage to the Jagdtiger, but I am harassing up north with that guy.
Missing.
You're actually...
Oh, this is like an assault I dreamed up here. So I knew that there were Panzer headquarters down there, and I knew that they really weren't using that side of the map. So I thought of, you know, using an Su-85 to take it out. That's a little time. Cost them a bit. Doesn't have much backup, and it doesn't have much of a retreat plan.
Yeah.
So once I saw it was undefended, I'm like, I gotta go for it. Gotta give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I thought that river had been kind of, oh, there goes my Maxim.
Here's a Maxim getting...
You see how it pins both, but they still move so quickly? That's rough.
Along with, I mean, there was also an IL-2 strafe, which did nothing for them. I think that was actually what suppressed the one squad. We're gonna lose all these guys. Holy shit, we got lucky. For whatever reason, they were retreating, right?
Well, he could have lost the squad if my Su-76 got a good hit. And mortars were getting to the point blank range too. Now in the south, my Su-80 has encountered a Panther.
Oh shit. That did destroy that building, so...
Decided to suicide it and get it done. And I did.
You actually died to the machine gun fire. That's kind of absurd. Good job. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Structure. Trouble.
I don't know if it's worth it. It was an interesting thing to do.
Well, it prevents them from being able to produce Obers and Panthers for about 2 minutes. I think that's the time delay on those trucks coming out.
No, well, in terms of like cost spent and cost saved, they're probably...
That's not good. You're fucked.
Run home.
Oh.
Nope.
and they destroy your Su-76. So right here, you've lost a ton.
Yeah, the fact that units can get slaughtered on retreat is one of the most frustrating things about fighting.
Well, your guy had extremely low health.
But that was certainly a situation where even versus a weak unit, there was a good chance of dying. But
well, this is interesting. I didn't notice that. So these fuckers cloak on retreat.
They cloak when they're in cover, much like a sniper does.
But snipers don't cloak on retreat.
Oh, that's true. But it's a veteran ability that the Jaegers have.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm chasing them and like can't hit them because my unit won't fire because they jump in and out of cover on the retreat. So.
Is that fucking weapon accuracy?
At some point, I get a coup, not a coup wagon, but a Katyusha. Have I got it yet? Yeah.
Katyusha?
Yeah.
No, you don't have a Katyusha yet.
The really smart thing to do would be to Katyusha their blob on retreat.
Yeah.
And that can win you a game real quick.
Yeah, that would have been. I think you did eventually build a Katyusha.
Yeah, I just didn't use it for that. I never really had an opportunity. I have a bad habit of, like, whenever I get a Katyusha, just firing the instant, just ready to fire.
Yeah.
Whatever target I come up with. Don't steal my AT gun, you bastard. Friendly or fire will kill you instead.
Once again. Now we're on the back foot considerably.
Shocks have to get out of there.
And here comes another volley of that psychotic artillery.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
It also gets to a point when you're fighting OKW that sometimes I just keep units fighting to death because I know they're going to duck on retreat. Just want to get another burst with the flamethrower or something else.
Oh,
and this
fucking hell.
artillery goes on for a long time. Like 5 or 6 or 7 seconds straight of artillery. That home on your unit.
I don't think I was paying attention. For whatever fucking reason. That was not good micro on my side.
Well, I don't know what micro you could have done at the beginning there other than run away.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it would have taken to preserve the lives of the couple riflemen.
And the Arc Tiger starts blasting your Sherman. Yeah.
And
Fight up.
What's going on over here?
Oh! Need a
Flying.
push. Another 2 push. Good smoke blast.
Oh, I do want this squad.
Take that, you bastard.
It's like the only fucking squad wipe.
We've had a couple. It's a long game, they got a lot of squads. Yeah, Panther hits. Well, it's hit a lot. It doesn't have any penetrating shots.
Yeah, Panthers are pretty fucking tough. Speaking
And
of,
their positioning there. It's that we couldn't attack them through anything but their front armor.
yeah.
It's great for them. But that's useful for like an SU-85 because their front armor doesn't matter that much. To a Panther, or a Tiger, or a Yog Tiger, or a Yog.
S-85s, once again, veterans here are actually pretty solid, even against the front armor of a Panther.
Now for the first time, like, they're breaking into our defenses on the right side here, which we held for the last 40 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing actually keeping us in the game, honestly.
What's that resource hotbed?
Yeah.
Try and chase him down. Doesn't work. Get some damage. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what we were doing to them on the left side, so it's entirely.
Yeah.
It's a smart thing to do.
A little bit of harassment. So, anyways, our Yak Tiger's up to vet 1.
Only one kill.
Su-85 tank destroyer
Doesn't
ready.
fire that often.
No. That's probably the Su-85 that killed a while back. They are stealing your AT gun now. Those Nazi bastards. Oh, and this guy's actually using one of the abilities, which is a booby trap points, which I ran into later.
Yeah, how effective does it like cause an explosion, or is it like what happened in this?
It's almost a guaranteed squad wipe on any squad that enters that territory, so it's pretty bullshit. But we have a version of it as well, actually.
Demo charge? Or?
No, it's actually part of one of the doctrines. It's like a booby trap, I think is all it's called, from the defensive doctrine.
Yeah, well, we're not going to give him a retreat. Let's force him to run home.
Shocks to fire.
Well, reloading. What might have actually been useful over on that side would have been to move up an AT gun, say across that little river crossing, and start taking pot shots with the Yak Tiger. It would need obviously a lot of
anti-infantry support. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a booby trap going off right there.
Strange that it wasn't like it looked like it was on the point, but does it just explode on whoever?
It explodes on whoever is there, and of course my guys are staying in the flames and.
Just having depth this.
And
Sure.
More artillery.
Capture complete.
You know,
It's done.
there's a little. It sticks in my craw a little bit. Some kind of abilities that you can deploy in enemy territory that
Yeah.
aren't kind of random.
Mortar team reports ready for combat.
Oh shit! And here's a King Tiger.
Ready.
Great. It looks very much like the Yak Tiger. They could be easily mistaken for one.
Mine planted.
Yeah. Well, until you realize that the turret on this guy, well, it doesn't have a turret.
I mean, at this point, we still hold 3 victory points. So.
Yeah. And we've got parity on victory points, so it's not all fucked yet, but it's getting there. Oh, nice mine there.
We're aware that that things are looking steadily worse and worse for us.
Another mine. Nice.
Didn't mind this
Sector
one.
under attack.
Look at all that experience. Boom, 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 boom,
20
boom, boom.
millimeter mortars
Oh,
are
that was impossible to kill.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Did do a fuck of a lot of damage to your guys.
Yep, I wasn't lying. They're quite viable versus the anti-infantry when they get experience.
Yeah. And that is one of the problems with shocks. I mean, if the enemy treats them like we treat their Storm Pioneers and just keeps distance, uh-oh.
We are losing territory.
Maxim's not in a good spot.
There you go. At least it runs away. That's really all it can do at this point. Another hit.
Artillery gun is missing like crazy. And another barrage. Walking Strika.
Yeah. It's more effective than ours.
It doesn't do too much. Ah, finally get a shot landed.
reduced to using conscripts. That's how low we are.
Dish out hell!
Our artillery. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's if you have an ability that's that powerful, of course you could use it all the time.
Yeah.
It gets one of their own guys, unfortunately.
And it used to be that that artillery could destroy the entire American base.
In one volley.
I think in 2 volleys. Which, of course, due to the short cooldown of the ability, if you save up munitions, you can just do that.
We have secured the area.
And it's really annoying.
Well,
I've had it happen to me, but fortunately that was patched out, so you can't target it in the base sector anymore.
okay.
A little bit of quiet. We are bleeding quite heavily now.
Yep. Well, I mean, one of the reasons that we have sort of parity is that neither side has lost a tremendous amount of units yet.
Yeah.
You lost isolated units. If, say, you lost your infantry cloud, it'd be over.
I think I've lost 1 or 2 riflemen, but fortunately, due to this doctrine, I can replace them with veteran units. So I mean, the loss is not as bad. Oh, finally, the King Tiger, because I was wondering when that guy was going to actually push.
I didn't know it existed until this point.
On the hook over here! Capture complete!
That's a problem.
Yeah, need a hasty retreat here. And PC-8's not so good against that heavy armor.
Crowds are taking one of our points.
PC-8's not doing too much at all.
Action injection. Either to the infantry they're shooting or the King Tiger they're fighting. Yeah. Well, they've even worked actually in range.
Oh, your heavy mortar just wiped out a squad there.
Last one time. King Tiger impervious to damage.
Tiger actually missed it. You lead him into your SU.
Takes a little. Panthers come backing it up. Well, I was assuming there would be infantry back up in there.
Oh yeah, I dodged that guy.
Was just lost.
Yeah, we're just not hurting there. I'm concentrating on one Panther who's lost about 1/6 of its health. Just because of lucky balance orders.
Yeah. The frontal armor on the Panther is pretty excessive, especially once it gets back to. You get an
Well,
engine, right?
Didn't matter very much.
That's not.
Yeah, but there goes all of our anti-armor capacity right there.
Yeah. Yeah, you still got 1 SU, but I mean, against 2 Panthers and
King Tiger.
King Tiger.
Yacht.
Oh shit, you're
Well, grab your shit.
out where you can get shot.
A capture point is under attack.
Lucky.
Well, I wouldn't call it lucky what happens to this guy. Of course we missed the Panther.
I have to say, so far MVP from us is your heavy mortar. It's the only thing that's been doing anything.
Reinforcements here.
Well, you know,
Welcome to
it's the only thing that's been leading their infantry. That and occasional rifleman charges.
Finally
Because
have.
it's gotten to the point where your Sherman variants are no longer very effective.
Yeah. In fact, I started calling in Jacksons instead. I know. After this match, I think I may no longer use the EC8 doctrine against OKW.
Yeah, this guy did a very good job of basically scattering his infantry so my shots couldn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Wearing me down.
Area secured.
So things look terrible for us now.
Yeah. Really not good. Katusha barrage. Does quite a bit of damage to those overflow, only killed one model though. Tiger's getting repaired. Yep, this is not looking good. He's rebuilding his Schwerpanzer headquarters there. So now both of them are there.
So I kind of wonder, looking back at this game, whether or not it would have been a tactically wise choice to have built the artillery piece, the 8.5 that I have in my doctrine.
Yeah, you would have had to build it all the way back in our base to prevent it from, well, getting swarmed by this, or getting hit with a walking Struka. Because this is, wow, yeah, they're pushing way the fuck up there.
Well, I mean, sort of the problem with that is, they didn't really have set defenses, so I think we'll heavily know where an enemy was, and that artillery piece is not very accurate, especially until it gets lots of veterans. So it might have really been a waste of resources.
Here, actually, while they're doing that push, I'm attacking their Panzer headquarters.
White phosphorus.
Wipe a squad.
I gotta run. Run for the hills.
Now I run for the hills. Everything that they have is turning that way. Except for, well, the mob.
Yeah.
Ha! Huh. Fritz went down. Good. Su-85 shot.
I lost my captain that push up to our base.
Oh yeah. It died horribly.
They don't have many hits.
No.
Well, even a Panzer worker.
Walking Struka has a shit ton of hit points.
You have to hit it 2 or 3 times with a medium. Stuka Sufus.
And good over there.
So basically, right now, is we have the sides. Oh, we don't even have our side. And they have the center, and they can send their cloud in whichever direction. Oh, did you kill a unit there?
Yeah, I focus fired a unit, so I killed another unit. Then I dropped white phosphorus a little too close to myself, so it's not very good.
They help you out by dropping some stuff.
We got 75 points remaining.
75 points.
We're getting plastered over here.
It's not looking good. You have the homing artillery.
Now, fortunately, it was in the neighboring sector, so... Oh, shit. You lost your S-85 to the walking Struka, I think. Holy shit.
I think it was at half health. I don't think it would have killed you at full.
Yeah.
Very accurate. And does a lot of damage to...
WTM-110 smoke strike can be delivered to cover our men.
I think is we just have not been able to hurt their heavy tanks significantly.
And they're being super conservative with them, doing all their pushing with their infantry clubs, which we're having lots of problems with.
The thing is actually that previous attack where they cut off, they could have walked into our base.
Ah, yeah. That would have been GG right there. Oh, kind of GG.
But you know, as I said, hindsight is 20/20. We could have had 3 AT guns there.
Well, AT guns wouldn't have done us any good against the infantry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have walked to our base if they had that. Either way.
Yeah.
Trying to dance around the King Tiger.
Getting slaughtered.
The enemy is
Two of my
capturing
models on retreat.
Heavy machine gun team ready for order.
And now I've actually done what I should have done a long fucking time ago. Back-tech to lieutenant, so I can call in 50 calibers.
Supply line just got cut off.
Fortunately,
Lieutenant
King Tiger takes out most of the squad with the first shot.
Yeah. Kind of like the old ISU 152 before I got nerfed into uselessness.
Yeah. Only has more armor, more mobility, and a turret. Yeah. and better AT.
How much does the King Tiger cost? You know?
Quite a bit. Let's see, it's built. The tier 1 building, 720 and 260. They need to tech through all of their teching, so it actually has a reasonably high opportunity cost to build.
Yeah.
But it is more effective than anything else in the game.
They weren't watching at my point. My SU got about 8 free shots on it. It took about a third or something.
Yeah. And you get pushed off by a blob. Lone Maxim doesn't even have time to set up.
Guys, that's why they're useless at this point. Can't rely on them.
So let's see, there's 3 machine guns on the Panther when it was
Yeah, we're getting into desperation mode here.
Yeah, things are certainly not looking good. Jesus, half your squad goes down to the rockets.
Well, they can crit, so. And then they run away. They could have killed both squads.
Ah, yeah.
They're just very conservative.
Interestingly, they didn't trip on your mine the entire time they were there.
They'd seen it already. They uncovered it with the mine detector.
It's actually, so that has been patched, so it's now invisible when the mine detector walks away. That's interesting.
Didn't seem to be in that situation. I don't know what that was. Artillery that missed, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they thought we were digging in over there.
Or they killed my unit after it took something.
So here,
More weapons.
you should really use smoke to protect your shots in that situation.
I did a couple times, but it seemed like they could fire around the smoke sometimes.
Yeah, it's usually they switch to attacking ground. Oh, there you go.
Doesn't last long enough for what I want to do most of the time, which is to capture the goddamn point. Run! Run!
A true hero.
Soviet Union.
Nice. SUs are back in the fight. Slowly taking the north.
Well, we gotta do it. Gotta do it. We have them triple capped actually. They're down under 100 points. You know, it's a situation you're in with some frequency in Company of Heroes too. It's, you know, we're in a horribly bad strategic situation, but if we could just cap and hold, we might be able to eke out a victory.
Yeah.
And their overwhelming armor superiority.
Yeah, looking back, these guys could have been much more aggressive with their tanks, and we would have lost this much earlier. They should have just been pushing with their tanks behind their infantry.
This is the first time you've really invested on Jackson, right? Or no, he's not Jackson.
Yeah, I've got one Jackson back there. Of course, it still bounces 90% of the shots off the front of it. Lose my vet 3, ECA. Doing jack shit to those Panthers. Getting artillery. And now I've moved my retreat path here, which is probably what I should have done the entire fucking time.
So you could basically match what they were doing?
Well, once again, they weren't doing that. So I could have actually been more effective in my retreating, or in my infantry game than them.
Yeah. But I was in the situation where I had 2 shock squads attacking some infantry, and accidentally retreated to the wrong one.
Yeah, that's annoying.
The misclick or whatever.
Oh.
It does. I've had some difficulty with dragging across the squad, dragging and clicking across the squad, and not smashing. Which can be very frustrating.
So here is really
Time for an all-out assault.
time for an all-out assault. Maybe not with the SUs against.
was hoping to get a lucky shot. The SUs were doing nothing. They had not helped me all game. I lost 6 of them this game.
Jesus.
I was hoping to get a lucky shot on one of these guys. Not so effective. At least you can stand up these oversoul bottom a little bit.
A little bit. Not against a King Tiger and all that shit. Anyways, yeah, at this point, there's no chance, really, that we can take enough points.
I don't know. They're at 76 points. It's worth a shot. I mean, at this point, like, what do we have to lose? We have 8 points. We can't play one game here. Not that we even have that opportunity. Shocks go down in wrecking time.
Lieutenant goes down also. Meanwhile, they're artillerying here. Wiping out my squad.
Fortunately, I had a squad standing right there. I mean, this is like one of the kind of meta syndromes that we have encountered a lot. Just park your King Tiger on a point. It's only really in danger if it attacks and can get flanked. So.
Yeah.
More or less pitch efforts here.
75 points remaining.
4 points. Well, actually, we have 2 points here. Come off a little bit. And actually, it looked like we could actually hold at this point, perhaps.
I don't know.
Maybe 2 more minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. With 2 points. As their super artillery hits.
Yeah. I think that's realistic.
Have we ever been in a situation where we won using this strategy?
I think once a long time ago, we had a match. Of course, it was against regular Germans, so it was before the Western Army factions were released. They're here. I'm here. We're all here. Actually, do a lot of damage to that Panther with my Jacksons.
More retreat. They're down to 58.
Pushing off. This asshole's trying to salvage that cheeky bastard and blow it up in front of him. Fortunately, that poor Panther not a foot to be trifled with. More artillery.
I don't know why you ran. What's the point in running? They're down to what? 50 points now.
Heavy losses. 50 points remain.
Just don't have enough anti-infantry.
Yeah, I had pretty much only 1 rifleman squad, 2 machine guns, some vehicle crews, setting up my machine gun on the point. Fortunately, that smoke helped them more than it hurt. And here I'm trying to crush those Obersoldaten.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Of course not. Easy, it just turns like a retard.
Well, you know, these things happen. How many points do they have? 44?
44, yeah.
And they capture that point. And that's spaghetti. Oh, you do crush a few of the bullets.
Yeah. Too little, too late. Anyways. Yeah. Meanwhile, you were pushing in the middle. They weren't even bothering with that. So.
Like pushing, it was sending my last remaining troops there.
Yeah.
What are the lessons?
So I think we were way too passive in the early game. Like that point, I think it was like 25 minutes or something, where we just sort of like sat back and let them regroup. that was a big, big mistake. Because if we had pushed our defensive line all the way up here, we might have had a chance to knock out their fort headquarters before they built 2 of them, of course, and kind of keep them a little bit more contained in their base. I think.
Yeah, it's very to try and maintain a defensive line like that, but in practice, you can't hold it versus what the OKW can throw at you, especially once you get to 30 or 40 minutes in. So you have to be aggressive. You have to fight the coward in yourself, the summoned soldier.
Yeah, and I mean, from my side, I should have been more aggressive with my forward retreat point. I should have got Jacksons rather than EC8s, to be honest, and maybe one EZ8 to act as sort of a sponge, and then regular Shermans and 50 calibers. I really should have had 50 calibers out, rather than the captain skill tree, which only gave me the light infantry gun, I think, is all I used. And an AT gun, I guess. But anyways.
And, thinking about this game, I thought maybe I should have got the artillery, but I don't think that's actually a good decision. Would have changed.
I actually think, I think your unit composition was actually pretty good.
Pretty good. Could have used some work.
It's just we needed something that could reliably deal damage to their infantry.
Isn't that the rub?
Yeah, and that's the rub as the Soviets. If you choose the wrong doctrine, you just can't do that. I mean, a T-70 maybe.
T-7
would have lasted about a quarter of a second unless you could kite them effectively. Let's see, what else? More Katyushas.
5.
Yeah. But
another Katyusha actually would have been nice. I don't think I ever had the money for it.
Yeah. Or maybe Peens, or early game Peens and snipers might have helped to prevent squads from being built up. And that might.
Well, I mean, that would have changed our strategy from minute 1, which is,
Yeah.
easy. Well, anyway.
Anyways, yeah. So not very often that we cast a WAS. It does happen more often than not, especially against OKW.
Yeah, but they played really well. They didn't just do like one of the kind of cheap blobbing strategies. They did very smart things, and they deserve to win.
Yeah, and I think despite it coming down to the wire, they definitely have the stronger game strategically this match. We were a little scrambled looking back at this. Anyways, hopefully we've learned something so we can improve, and hopefully, yeah, you guys learned something as well.
Our horrifying losses.
Our horrible losses. Maybe we should cast more of these. Anyways.
Okay, we'll see ya later.
I'll see you guys next time.